Hello, welcome back to BSLIVE. Today I want to do another sculpting explorations using the iPad Pro and Apple Pencil. So I'm using this macOS Catalina Sidecar feature. So I want to test the pencil performance. So here, I'm using mouse, and normally mouse have three mouse button. So it's pretty natural like this. I have actually my keyboard in front of me, so I will be using keyboard this time, and I want to see how good it performs with just the pencil, or if I still need the keyboard or mouse. I will try not to use mouse actually, so I'm gonna put the mouse somewhere else. So I'm just using the Apple Pencil. So normally, if you just starting with a sculpting, you probably want to go to new and sculpting, right? And with this mode, um, what we have here is the quad sphere. It's actually an object that's already been subdivided. So let me actually select it. So I'm selecting it. It's not using the multi-resolution. So this is something that you can quickly sculpt, which is kind of nice, of course. Um, Let me turn on the radius and pressure. Um, yeah, so I can use my two finger. So I'm not using mouse. I'm just using the iPad Pro. So you can see there's some kind of pressure sensitivity. It's pretty smooth, and definitely by doing it this way, you probably will add like lots of squiggle. And I'm using two finger again for rotations. This is actually working really well if your 3D object is something like a sphere. Still, two fingers working pretty smoothly, okay? But you can always use that thing at the corner. So the sculpt tool is mostly there, but there's one problem with the pencil is that you don't actually have the right mouse button click, so you cannot right click. You can with double tap, but it's a bit weird. However, you have of course the command here and the control and shift. I used Mac for a while, but I'm still sometimes confused which one is options or which one is control. All I can see is that icon over there, so that must be, is it a shift or okay, that's a shift definitely to smooth it out, and this one is option. So I can, so this is all using the pencil. It's been working pretty well for me, especially if you're just starting with Blender and sculpting. Do use this mode, but if you want to do it like in the normal mode, let's say you start with this. So I'm zooming in, and then I will jump into the modifier and actually using the proper multi-resolution, multi-res. I'm gonna subdivide it a couple of times. So I'm just gonna keep it faceted for now. Gonna subdivide it 6-7 times. Okay, now 7 times. Now I'm gonna jump into sculpt mode, and I'll try to zoom in. Okay, that's using my two finger. Start sculpting. So it's working really well. If I'm using the thing in the corner, you can see as I rotate, it's gonna go jump back and forth between the low res and the high res. Okay, but if I'm using two finger, so I'm not jumping between two mode. So that's actually interesting. So if you want to work really like full screen, I'm gonna go to keyboard, control option spacebar. So this is kind of like a fully immersive mode, I think. This is definitely working really well. Um, we can actually try something here. Like for example, I'm gonna switch to the Safari. So I'm still recording, hopefully. Hiding and masking. Okay, you can hide using Edge. So hiding and masking is very important. There is actually mask tool, but I believe there's also a shortcut, but I'll try to use the mask tool here. So I'm gonna need to go out of the immersive mode. Control spacebar. Control spacebar is actually better, so we can still see. We can still see the tool. I believe this is the mask mode. So I'm masking. So with masking we can actually be more precise and more detailed. I haven't used this mode much myself, but it's really powerful. So you can really draw something that's a little bit more detailed and precise. You can even maybe change the brush size and go really small. I'm not gonna do that. So once it is masked, I think I can jump into a different brush and then start sculpting, and then the area that's already masked will not get any brush sculpting. So that's really interesting and handy. And I don't know, I think I might still need a keyboard hotkey for this. This control I will flip. Okay, control I will flip into this mode. So now I can perhaps use like something like pinch, or this is layer one. Okay, this is like, that's a crazy crazy brush. Totally. I can undo with the iPad Pro, which is nice. So control I to switch. Maybe I'll add some detailing. If I'm making a texture, well, I can do that using the iPad, I guess. So let me try. Right click. Aha, we don't. Okay, we don't have right click, but I definitely need my mouse now. So this is a quick sheet. Header, show tool setting. Okay, that's the first cheating. I'm gonna go to texture, create new texture. I need to go to the texture panel here, and I will create a new cloud, maybe cloud texture. I just gonna use that one. And just to make sure this one updating, now we can start painting with the cloud texture. Yep, so far so good. Oh, still using that tool. Okay, I need to smooth it out. Okay, paint and smooth. Oh, this one I lost the texture. Okay, just add a bit of texture there. I don't have any detail. Maybe I need to make this hard texture. Yeah, I guess that's okay. Control I. Now I want to get rid of the mask. How do I do that? Clear the mask. Alt M. Fill the whole mask with value of 1. Fill the mask with a value of 1. What is this means? Fill the mask with a value of 1. Is there like edit fill? Where's edit fill? Something missing. But anyway, Alt M, Option M. Yeah, remove the mask. Now we are back into this mode. So for the next few minutes, I will just randomly sculpt. Okay, at this mode, I forgot to change the matte cap. Yeah, this definitely better. So control spacebar on the keyboard. Now back into this a little bit more immersive mode. Using 2-finger. I'm just gonna add like random squiggle. There's one tool that I quite like actually, not this one. This one is too strong. Oh, wait. Get rid of the texture. Yeah, this one is not bad. If you do it slowly with Apple Pencil, not too hard. Too hard's gonna give you that. But because there's like a pressure sensitivity, if you hold it really lightly, you can really have some kind of nice detailing. Very, very nice kind of sketching. But you can see there's a, that could be a bug. Like you draw and then you get a spike. Draw and spike, draw and spike. That's not good. That's probably a bug. A bug of Blender or Catalina Sidecar. I don't know yet, but it shouldn't spike like that. Yeah, what I mean is that, let me save this first. Save as, so I can save this using the pencil. If I open a new, okay, new paint mode, create a new image, 1024 by 1024. I want to show you, this could be a bug. If I'm painting, you see the, if I stop and then, yeah, you see that part there, that could be a bug of Blender 2.81. I'm using the alpha. So when you're painting, you don't want to get that dots. Maybe there's something that can be fixed or tweaked from the option, but that's something to keep in mind. Random sculpt. Okay, this. Okay, back to this guy. Inflate, deflate, not so useful unless you're doing arm or leg. What is this one? Crease? What is this? So if you're using Apple Pencil, you probably want to know the name beforehand. Yeah, it is crease. This one, smooth. Oh, it's really smoothing. It's like better than shift, or maybe it's the same. Flatten. Flatten is very powerful, especially if you're modeling character head and you don't like, you start to use flatten tool a lot, like maybe for hard surface modeling, but using brush, and then you can have more shapes, kind of like when you're drawing and you use a lot of curve. With this one you can be more edgy. So I'm gonna keep that part because I spent some time on it. This part a bit ugly, but I'm gonna start and continue with this. So mostly for the sculpting. Oh, okay, too big, because we have symmetry and we can be like fully immersive with sculpting. I tend to just do a squiggle, but I end up with a lot of kind of like alien looking marking. I don't know why. So just, it's like a spiral kind of drawing. Just follow your intuition. Another spiral. Because this is symmetrical. The most interesting happens when you squiggle with the symmetry. You can have symmetry on every angle actually. Let's turn that on. Symmetry on every possible axis. So that could be handy. Look at that. Now I can be more abstract. So far as I've been just pulling it. Let's use the option and pull push brush. Okay, that's pushing it. So I have that shape. I'm pushing it really hard. I'm actually my iPad is kind of mounted on this like a frame kind of tripod. Using 2 finger. Yep. Okay. There we go. Another symmetry. It's super fun and relaxing, I'm telling you. Try doing this while listening to music. Spend an hour at least, kind of like a yoga for your mind. This is really cool. I'm gonna just try to cover every surface until we get something that's looking pretty decent. You can still go higher resolution, like maybe one more. I'm using 7 subdivisions on this, so we can go up and down. Performance is really good, especially on the Mac. On the Mac, this is like Mac should be like a kind of standard. Like you might have a more powerful computer somewhere with a GPU, but MacBook Pro is a good test for Blender, I think. Oh, we have some kind of mysterious big eyes there. I didn't plan it. I think this is because of the symmetry, of course. Keep doing this and then you get all sort of weird marking. Maybe I have a feeling like creatures like insects have this kind of ways of design. I don't know. It's an intelligent design, right? It's made with purpose, but some of them are really just kind of like a random marking. It's like a little bit of like what do you call it? Reaction diffusion. You simply blend, or you simply make a random marking like this, and you get, oh, okay, this could be like the underneath of an insect, for example. Underneath just random weird pattern. It's all probably procedural. Yep. All right. So sometimes you want to turn on the cavity and you suddenly have this detail that you never see. It's kind of like a fake detail, or I don't know, but sometimes, but you can actually bake this as well. I think dirty vertex can give you back this kind of crease, which is nice. Okay, but anyway, stop talking. I'm gonna use mouse. I'm gonna cheat because I just need to go back to this mode. Control space on the keyboard. I'm gonna save again. I just want to show you one thing. Go back to object mode. Selecting the objects, we still have the multi-res. Like I said, we can still go up until your computer hits the maximum RAM. Sculpt 7 is quite high, but you see the preview, you can go back into the original. Like original is just a box still. You can delete higher or delete lower, but I believe a good idea is to keep it so you have something like a preview, maybe preview of 3, and you have the sculpt of 7. The sculpt have all the details, so but you want to have this at lower resolutions. And this thing already have the UV, of course, it should have UV, and I want to bake it. So now I'm using keyboard and mouse. I'm cheating a little bit, but because I can do this faster, of course, with keyboard and mouse. It's just when you're sculpting and you use the Apple Pencil, it's your mind goes somewhere else, and it's more relaxing with using when you're using pencil. But I can try. I don't touch the mouse, so I'm using just the pencil. It doesn't work. Go back to mouse. It works. Okay, baking this thing, we need to go to cycles. There is a bake here, but in order to bake, we need some kind of shader and an image. So an image, I'm gonna make another split cut on the panel. Image editor, new. Let's make it 1024 by 1024, low res. This thing, untitled. And then in here, create image texture. Select our image. So with these nodes being selected, select this object. In here, there's bake from Multires. If you turn that on, other options disappear and you only have normal and displacement. Let's do both. Bake the normal. Let me actually smooth the first. Smooth, shade smooth. So right click, we have right click. Nice. So that's the normal. Okay, file, save as. Let's save this properly, like USDZ random sculpt demo. Of course, this is faster if you use mouse and keyboard. Random N for normal, and you want to have maybe displacement as well. Bake displacement. So that's the displacement map, actual displacement map. Oops. So you can still, after you sculpt, you can still add texture and things like that. Let me turn off bake multi-res, go back to the normal view. I actually want to show you also this. It's not an add-on, I forgot. It's a texture generator thing that I've been using this a lot. Texture gen, I forgot who made this. The guy from Twitter. So with multi-res still active, I want to switch material into the base texture thing, and I want to see. Okay, we need to be in the higher mode. Okay, you can see this is kind of detail that you can get simply by using the texture generator. If the guy from Twitter watched this, maybe let me know where to get this. This gives you kind of like a stylized version of the kind of like the baking of dirty vertex, but it has a lot of options like SSS, dust, and you can bake this into a single material, which is nice. You can add noise, giving some random color. So this is nice, and this is also something that I want to bake. So once again, I want to bake this into my untitled, bake into emit. This will take a bit longer because I need to reduce this. Let's reduce it to just 32. Bake. So this one is using the actual high-res mesh, and it's baking this really cool texture. And then later I will combine them all into a single material that we can export as AR. So let's try doing this very quickly. So it's one of my workflow. I might be doing something wrong, but anyway, we have to try. Random display. This one is random diffuse or albedo. Okay, it's a diffuse. Now, okay, go back to, we're not rendering anymore. We want to go to EV to test our object. So I'm gonna make a duplicate, and this is our original, and this is our actual thing that's gonna be an AR. I will go to level 4. I'm gonna keep this guy, hit apply. This one still have multi-res. I hit apply on this. So now let's use our texture. So create a new texture for this. New. It's gonna be the final material. Save. And insert our image from the desktop. Diffuse albedo. Gonna switch to EV real-time mode. So this guy, the other guy can disappear for now. So this is with just that texture. It looks like high res, not really. Let's use the normal. Click. Oh, there's could be a lag just now with the sidecar. Displacement normal. I'm using the normal for now. So the normal cannot just go in like that. It shouldn't work. It shouldn't work. Normally we need to use the tangent or normal map. Tangent space, normal map. This goes into the color. Yeah, I guess this is more correct. We have the hard edge somehow. Could be a mistake or roughness, specular. So in the past, actually I've been using bump and plug this color into the height, and then the normal goes into the normal. The result will be like this, which is definitely wrong. Maybe wrong, but I'm getting more specular somehow. So this is what I've been talking on the Twitter. I've been doing this wrong using bump but the more correct way is to use normal. But I don't know why I'm getting that edge. Maybe I need to smooth this object. No, it's still there. So maybe that's something I did wrong during the baking. Yeah, so if maybe I plug this into the metallic or roughness for the final effect. Maybe into the metallic. Yeah, either one of them will take it, because when we export as GLTF, it's gonna use either metallic or roughness, unless you separate it or use different texture, I believe. So file, export GLTF, save it into the, save it into new folder, GLTF bin texture, export GLTF, and then I will create a terminal calling the USDZ converter. So render shouldn't be full screen, minimize, because I want to show you this thing. USDZ convert. I should automate this at some point, so whenever a folder is detecting GLTF, then it should convert it into USDZ and save it. imagine I can save it into Dropbox. I can model it using different package. Now we have GLTF, but you can see I made a mistake. Look at this. This is a very interesting. Looks like a face. We don't see that line, so that's nice. Okay. I made a mistake there. Wait. I need to get to Blender. File, export, GLTF. Selecting objects only, apply modifier area maybe. Export it again. When exporting high-res texture, it tends to get a bit slow. Anyway, hit up arrow, enter. Now we have the object. Cool. Do this, airdrop it into my iPad. So it's airdropping into itself, which is funny. Now I use my finger, files, GLTF, USBZ. Now I can display this. Okay, so that's the whole process. Using Blender, Apple Pencil, Catalina, Sidecar feature, and we get this. And we can use a reality composer and to add interactivity like simple spinning. So I think this is nice. Very nice if you have MacBook Pro, so you can do all this kind of conversion into AR, GLTF. It works. So Blender works with Sidecar. All right, so that's how the whole process from sculpting in Blender all the ways into USDZ. Hopefully you find this interesting. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.